Feelings, nothing more than feelings. This is kind of funny. But, at times, as those in a personal sense, would feel, say, their mother, their brother, their sister, their children, or whatever. And sometimes you have generate some sort of or even a character on a TV show or a radio show or something like that. You generate somewhat of a character at a specific a point in time that you feel that connection, that you know what they mean. And sometimes in an actual false realization, you actually kind of start to imaginate that figure without and it progresses within that, and then within other things that be in a sense within losing oneself. It's kind of like a craziness, but that's only my own insight about a certain type of feeling that people are afraid to be themselves, really, because from what they watch and say, oh no, Kelly, you were being in a specific way at that specific time, but yet all of a sudden you got a little song or a little display of a message or a little video or a little subliminal thing or an electromotive frequency or something, and then all of a sudden your thought changed in that specific point in time, and you just kind of completely lost track of yourself. It'd take a little bit. I really couldn't say what it would take, but it's encompassment, which is kind of, I don't know. Sometimes it's like one of my favorite words, encompassment, of just in a realization of what's really there in the whole spectrum of the bound straps and that's a more precise term, but crossings of things. But it's just kind of weird about feelings, how a certain thing can be kind of changed in just a short period of time without containing the whole feeling within within the whole freaking self, and sustaining that on a daily basis. That just seems kind of weird to me, and it would seem quite of a strong character to be able to do in such that with all that is, all the arrows that would bring forth the middle circle, closing in on everything and everything. But for those who can still have that just kicking there within that and there, it would seem a little bit strong and a strengthful thing, And it's not impossible, because an impossibility is only a possibility. But in a Aquarian time and a realignment and a rebirth, it's kind of a strange thing. So it would be also my other repetitive saying is, where do you reside? Awake, or awake would be living, and living is not any hype whatsoever. It's just within a consciousness, and that's only within what I would believe. But the question is, what do you believe, and how do you go forth about your day in believing that? It's not really, in a sense, I would say about beliefs. All I would say is within being alive. What does alive mean? That's crazy, man. Like the whole mind and everything is kind of an endless thing. But to get out of a certain amount of things, it would really take a deep thought, and who's afraid, of doing that and actually sitting there and staying to be yourself, It would take, first of all, it would take one person to change. And then after somebody would change, then, you would go to that same person that knew you in a specific type of way. And then they would say, okay, I understand what you're saying. Now, I know you now, so can you open up and tell me what you really feel, or like be fucking truthful or whatever and stuff, As first, it would take somebody within their own strength to say, this is it. I'm really not gonna stand for listening to shit, and I'm not gonna follow anything you say. You know what? I'm going to agree with something that I agree with you on, and I will say that. But if I disagree, I'm going to say I disagree. I'm not really going to follow or contend with anything you fucking say, really, in a sense. So, and just as well, in a whole educational standpoint, there's much information, but everything lies in a sense within everyone's fucking self. It's just a crazy madness thing, but that's only my view because I'm only me. But everybody, you are only you, I'm only me, you're only you, and nothing you can tell me is gonna fucking distort my way of thinking, and no fucking message or TV or fucking text or whatever is gonna change any specific type of thing whatsoever. So if somebody could do that, I can, like I made a statement on one Facebook, which comment that listen to other people's opinions is like a research, and that's kind of a cool thing, really, you know, because sure you can sit there and read something that somebody is completely saying and it sounds actually true, but it would seem a false thing to me if you would sit there and say, okay, that's completely true. That only gives you the beginning to your own thought process. So when you realize that somebody that is saying something that is kind of freaking cool and say, okay, that's it, that's kind of interesting. That only is just an invitation to say, okay, now I'm starting to think a little bit differently. He thought differently, and I thought what he said was cool. But really, when I think about what he said, I have, or she said, I really have my own take on things in my own way. So I kind of have that particular thing that, okay, that particular person said something that was kind of cool, but really I kind of have my own spin on that, and that would be actually being one, being oneself in a sense, you know, and kind of an enlightenment. But yet, again, that's only my own view. I'm me, you're you. But, in a question of, societal things, how many people are actually afraid to be themselves?